Hi, welcome to another Infinity Terrain video. In this video we are looking at the 3D printed terrain from Dragon's Rest. So we're technically looking at the files that I've then printed on my own 3D printer. So Dragon's Rest did a Kickstarter recently where they produced, I guess, what you call a space outpost. So a number of different model files that you could purchase through the Kickstarter or now on their website. And if you've got your own 3D printer, you could then print the files out and end up with something like this. So nice gangway sections, modular hub buildings, walls, a whole range of different things, including some terrain pieces like this miner piece, or this power generator piece here. Now, if you don't have a 3D printer and like some of this stuff, there is various companies who have a license from Dragon's Rest to actually 3D print the stuff and sell it on as well. Obviously it doesn't work out quite as cheap because you're having to pay someone else to do the printing. But again, it's still very reasonable to get nice solid plastic terrain effectively. If you watched my previous video that showed the differences between MDF and 3D printing, 3D printing gives you a much more, obviously, three-dimensional product. It's a lot more solid because it's in printed plastic. It's a lot easier to put detail in. However, it does obviously work out more expensive and takes a lot longer to print than maybe using MDF yourself. Also, you do end up with, on the flat surfaces, if you look very closely, you can see places like here where the printer is printing in. You end up with like what they call infill, effectively, where the printer is actually filling in the plastic. Now, if you alter things like the speed and that you're willing to print at and the quality, you can get rid of some of that stuff. I'm happier going with faster prints and just accepting a little bit of quality lag. Now, you'll see this piece here looks really good on this side, but if you flip it over, you'll see that it's failed. The printer's actually failed on these two pieces here. Now, that's nothing to do with the model. The models are actually designed to print without support. However, what's basically happened here is the printer I'm using at the moment doesn't like bridging gaps that large. So when it basically tries to print across thin air, the material basically just starts to leak down. Now, some printers are fast enough that they'll print that without any issue. If I'd have turned on supports, it would have built up some support material in here, and I would have just snapped the support material off at the end. Given it's on the wall and it's going to be underneath, I'm just going to treat that. I'll clip that off with clippers, and people won't even notice it. So it doesn't bother me that much. And again, that's nothing to do with the Dragon's Rest files. That's entirely due to my 3D printing settings and the speed that I'm wanting to print at. On my Prussian Mark III, I print at 80 millimeters a second, which is quite fast. So we're going to cover a number of different videos to cover the Dragon's Rest range because it is quite a large range. So we're going to start off with a very basic overview of how it goes together, and then we're actually going to jump to one of their more recent and much more complex pieces, just to show you what you can actually get out of the 3D printer and out of the range that they've done, because I think you'll be quite impressed with some of the newer stuff that they've done. So if we look at the basics of it, at the basics core of the range, you've got some walkways. You'll notice you have these clips here, and these clips basically you have 4 clip points. If you want a really solid structure, you can use all 4 clip points. It will generally hold fine with 2. In some cases, it'll even hold fine with 1. And all you basically do to join stuff together is just snap it in and clip it in. You want to take it apart, just snap it out again. So that's the basics of our piece. Now, if we want, we can put some more clips in. So if we just slap some clips in here and here, and then maybe we go for a larger piece. Now, the differences in the colours of plastic is purely down to whatever filament I had. Sometimes filament goes out of stock, so originally I started printing in concrete filament, and now I've got iron grey filament, so it's just to do the colours. There's no difference in the printing stuff. But there you go. So you can see now we've got some nice some walkways. Now if we want to raise those up, the range comes with risers as well. So all we do is we again slap a riser in, slap a riser here, and effectively then you can see we've got a riser here. Again, the riser has a connection underneath as well. So if we actually wanted to, we could actually go up one piece. We can actually go up to higher as well if we wanted to. But if we take the risers off, you can see that the whole range is quite flexible. Now, infinity-wise, you'll obviously notice these are quite open. So you've got a few options here. One, you could treat these bits here as being enclosed, and thus give cover to anyone who is behind them, adjacent to the railings. Alternatively, Dragon's Rest do a series of what they call armoured walkway cover pieces. So these basically you just feed them in and slap them on, and they provide some cover. And that's the smaller one, and they also do a larger one. So you can see they provide different levels of cover. Similarly, what I'll show you when we do a slightly more advanced kit later on is, you'll notice the difference between this piece here and the walkway pieces. This piece can actually have a roof on it as well. So what you can then do is you can merge pieces together. So you've got a bit of you'll have full cover once the roof's on this. So the models can basically cautious move from one area into the full cover and then move on to a different area. The other part of the core range is these modules. So these are little modules. I have varying degree of success printing these. Sometimes the ladders work, sometimes they don't. Again, where they don't work, I'll just snap them off and treat them as being broken ladders. These pieces here, which clip on, they clip on quite tight. These are basically just the modules, the sort of couplings, and they clip on so that you can then join this module onto other pieces like walkways or other buildings. And similarly, you can see that there's a leg piece there just to make it look a bit more realistic. Again, it's a nice 3D piece to add, and you get a roof, etc. for that as well. What we'll cover on one of the later videos as well is, again, there is a piece something like this. I think that's the right one. Which is basically, they've got like a modular kit where you can design your own buildings. Effectively, by giving you enough variations in pieces, you can basically just build up your own buildings. So, for example, if you want to build an objective room for Infinity, you could build an objective room using those pieces. Now, more recently, they brought out a gateway piece. So this is a fairly chunky, as you can see, gateway piece. So you'll notice here that these pieces here are modular, so you can change the distance between these two pieces. You can adjudge by adding more or less of these little ramp pieces in here. So what you then get is you have this piece here, which again is modular. So for example, if I snap it off there, you can see this is the cantilever piece. So again, we now have this cantilever piece, which is basically designed to go like this and fit in here. And then you'll notice there's a circular hole here, and there's a circular hole on the edge here. And if we slap the two together, all of a sudden we have a wall that goes up and down. Now obviously, at the moment there's only one join point, which is down here, so it's not particularly solid, but again it is a really, really nice smooth piece that's been really well designed. But let's say we wanted to put a walkway across here. So what we can do is we can create a sort of the right size of a walkway piece. So again, if we have a look in here, that's about the right size there. So if I put a pen in here and in here, so all of a sudden now we have a walkway piece along the top. So that now makes this piece a lot more solid. Still opens fine, but it's a lot more solid. What we can then do is, if we wanted to, we can add on some support ways just to make it look a bit more realistic. So you can see we've now got railing protecting our walkway piece, and again, if we wanted to, we could put some armoured supports in there. Now again, they do they do produce different sized pieces. So if we need some one size pieces just to go over these little gaps here, we have them. So you can see the one pieces then go on. What we can then do is we can build the wall out. So all of a sudden now we've got the wall piece here. Put a ladder down, so we've got somewhere for the people to go up onto this piece here. And then we can put a single walkway there. So as you can see, this is taking shape nicely, and it's all really quick. We're just basically plugging and playing these pieces together. And bear in mind, if you paint them all in a similar scheme, you will end up with this level of modularity. You will be able to, you know, set up different setups for your boards on different days. So if we extend the wall like that, and then let's use a stairway piece. So what you can see now is we have a fairly substantial piece of terrain. So we have a wallway piece leading up, some walls, stairs to get up there, ladder to go up to the top. We have a fully working door piece that you probably leave open in Infinity to give people a chance to get over the wall or get through the wall. They are going to do ruined wall pieces. So once you've got the ruined wall pieces, obviously walls in Infinity, if you have a wall going along too long an area, it prevents models moving through the wall too easily. But they are going to do some ruined wall pieces. So I'll be modelling mine with plenty of ways through the wall to get to the other side effectively. Or you could put more gates in if you wanted to. But yeah, so I am really impressed with this so far. I mean, as I say, this piece here I just love. I just think the mechanics of it all, the design of it all basically is really nice. It fits really well. And again, it's just something that would be very difficult to do in MDF, so it's something that works as a 3D printed model. So it'll be interesting to see what else comes out in the range. As I say, this is only the first of the videos. I think the next video we'll probably do some more work with the modular buildings once we've printed more of those pieces. And we'll show you how you can maybe build an objective building out of the pieces and various other pieces. So yeah, check out Dragon's Rest on the link below. They have a Facebook page as well that I'll include the link to. If you're looking for any of the sites which produce the actual pre-printed stuff, i.e. if you don't have a 3D printer yourself and you want to buy some of this stuff, I'll leave it for the vendors themselves to either post in the comments on the YouTube video or on the Facebook page, or I'm sure you'll find links on the Dragon's Rest page to some of those. I don't know the full list, so it would be unfair of me to pick on one rather than others. There could be more than one. Or contact Dragon's Rest, and I'm sure they could tell you which companies have license to produce this stuff. But if you do have a 3D printer, it's definitely worth checking out the range which is available on the Dragon's Rest site. If you find this video useful, please add some comments below, follow the YouTube channel, and if you're not a member of the Facebook group, feel free to join it. We're almost at 3,000 members now. Hopefully this video has been useful for you, and let's keep going.